Hello. If you are watching this video, you are here to learn about punctuating your dialogue. All narratives include, well, most narratives include dialogue. Your narrative has to include dialogue. Dialogue is people talking to each other. Oftentimes dialogue will be one person and another person talking back and forth. Sometimes dialogue will be a whole group of people. The key thing about dialogue is that you have to punctuate it correctly so that the reader knows what is going on and who is speaking. Readers get confused very easily, so make sure that they don't get lost, and you're going to need to use punctuation and signal phrases to make sure that your reader does not get lost. So punctuation. First of all, as you read the story right here, as you see the text here, do you see any dialogue? Well, you wouldn't see it because it's not marked. You'd have to read through it to find the dialogue. So in order to indicate where the dialogue starts and stops, we use quotation marks. Right here is where the dialogue starts. Are you sure this is your stop? I'm going to use an open quotation mark. I'm going to hold down my shift key so that I can do the two quotation marks. Now, do not do one quotation mark, two quotation mark like that. Instead, the double quotation mark at the top of that key you can get to by holding down the shift key and then pressing that double quotation mark button. I'm going to include a link underneath to show you, beneath this video, to show you where those keys are on your computer. Are you sure this is your stop? The end quotation mark is the same button. Hold down shift, click the double quotation marks. The punctuation mark, let me zoom in for you. The punctuation mark goes inside the quotation mark. You see that? Right there, inside the quotation mark. So you're not punctuating inside, you're not punctuating outside the quotation mark like that, because the quotation mark is a part of the sentence. So it goes inside the punctuation is a part of the sentence, so it goes inside the quotation mark. And then this is my next bit of dialogue. Yes, this is where I need to be. You're going to hold down the shift key, open quotation. Yes, the comma is a part of the sentence, so I do a close quotation at the end of it. This is where I need to be. Now the second thing to make note of, so I've got my dialogue punctuated correctly, but what I am missing is signal phrases. Signal phrases are a signal assigned to the reader that a person is speaking, and it tells the reader which person is speaking. Are you sure this is your stop? Incredulous that anyone would want to go to this decrepit house. Who's talking there? We don't have any idea, so we need to be told. Now, a signal phrase could be as simple as the man said. Or if you want to get more specific, you can say the taxi driver said. Now this word here is neutral. If somebody is saying something, it's a neutral tone. You can change this verb to be anything you want in order to indicate how they said it. The taxi driver yelled. That totally changes the story. The taxi driver whispered. What? Why is he whispering? What a creep. The taxi driver screamed. Why? Calm down. The taxi driver said. You have to have signal phrases. Change up the verb to indicate how the person said it. So I'm going to add a signal phrase to this one as well. Yes, I said, this is where I need to be. You have options for where you put the signal phrase. You can put it at the beginning. The taxi driver said, comma, are you sure this is your stop? Or you can put it here afterwards. But the key thing is that you have to have a signal phrase to tell the reader who is speaking. Also, please remember that every time somebody starts speaking who is new, you need to start a new paragraph. So I should not see paragraphs like this where you've got a voice here and then a voice here. When somebody new starts speaking, hit enter. Remember, it's normal to have multiple paragraph breaks throughout a narrative. You will have short paragraph breaks in a narrative. I also want to point out too that in this story I used thoughts. Thoughts are different from quotations. So it's up to you how you want to indicate those thoughts. I like to use italics right here. So these are some thoughts, and I use the italics button, this slanted I, so that I indicate that this is different from the conversation. When we use quotation marks, it indicates that somebody is speaking. Italics, I think, indicates that somebody is thinking, but you can indicate that in different ways. No matter what, you should have a signal phrase though, I thought to myself, so that we know that they're not speaking. For instance, right here, calm down, Katie, I said in my head over and over. We've got signal phrases. Again, keep the reader focused on your story. You don't want them to be confused. Thank you for listening and keep moving forward.